let's create one settings at least. So it is an object. So I will add a comma here. And let's say we want to create a settings for a typography. So I'm going to go back to my input, to my development store. As you can see, we have nothing here because we removed everything. So let me add a settings for typography, for example. So the settings schema here, accept a name and a settings as attribute. So first of all, let's give it a name. So we can call it whatever we want. So I'm gonna say typography, something that makes sense, and is expecting a settings, and this settings is an array. So this we already like practice a lot with the section, so it is the same, it's not different. So it's gonna accept a type. So this type we can give it, let's try this time a paragraph, okay, just to show you. And we need to add here content, and we can say add a typography for your team. So let's see how it's going to look if I save it. If I go back here, we're going to have nothing, definitely. So first let's create the settings. Okay, so it's going to be type of, we're looking for a typography. So a typography, there is a type for that. If I go back here, you look for font picker, and it's showing you how you can do that. So the font picker, so accept a type of font picker. You need to give it an ID, a label, okay, and the default should be one of the fonts that Shopify provides to you, or you can come to read even more about the font if you want to add some specific fonts for your team. I'm not gonna go further to this subject. We're gonna use Shopify font. Okay, so the type is going to be font picker. So let's call it font picker, and we need to give it an ID. So the ID is up to us. So we can say, so team font or team typography, and the label. So we can say here typography, and now we can give it the default. So when using now a font picker, the default here must be something that Shopify providing to you. So it says here, when accessing the value of a font picker type settings, data is returned as a font object. And they say here on the caution, so the default attribute is required. So in this case, the default is required, and failing to include it will result in an error. So you can find the possible value through the available font. So let's click on available fonts, and we have available font here. It's loading. Let's wait. And let's assign it for now to mono. I'm going to click on more info, and we're going to use the handle like this, and I'm going to come on the default, and I will do this like this, and I will save it. If I check my terminal, I have no error. And if I go back to my development store, if I refresh, and there we go. So we have a typography. So if I click on it, we have some message, add a typography to your team. This is what we did here using the sidebar input settings. Okay, so we can even add it here to be header. It's very up to you. Okay, you can use what makes sense in your case. Okay, so in my case, I think I will keep the header, and then we have the mono as the default. Okay, so you can go through this list here, okay, to choose like what could be like the default for your team. So you can, I don't know, choose pop-ins, you can choose whatever you want, but when you choose it, just make sure that you click on the more info. For example, let's say I would choose different one. Let's say I will go with the Montserrat, for example, Montserrat. So I will click on more info, and then I'm going to choose between one of the handle here. So I can say Montserrat 17 or Montserrat, I don't know, let's choose the simple one, Montserrat underscore N4. So this could be my default. So if I replace it and I save it, if I go back to my development team editor, if I refresh, we're going to have a Montserrat as a default, and of course we can change it. So there you go. All right, so how to access these fonts inside our code? So we need first to load these fonts inside our team. So for that, I'm gonna go to the layout directory, and inside the theme.liquid, and here I'm going to load the font first. So To access our fonts, so we're going to use the settings. You can't use the sections here, okay? It's not going to work. So you need to use the settings, that's the ID. So in our case, we give it the name of Team Typography. So just to be sure, okay, it's over here. So we need to use this kind of way to access it. And we need to use the filter of a font face like this, so that Shopify can load the fonts inside our theme. And once we do that, we can now reference this font inside our project. So we can do something like, I can remove this. Can do something like body, and here we can say something like font family if I have only one font for the whole website. If you have two fonts, so you're gonna create two type of typography, let's say heading typography and body typography, and so on. So me, I have just one, so I can add it to the body. So if I had like two, for example, I will say every heading is going to have font 1, and the rest of the tag, the HTML tag is going to have font body, something like this. But for now, let's go with the simple way. So font family, and we need to access again the same settings. So settings.theme typography, and now you need to access the family. So when you go to the family, so you have like a bunch of objects here you can access. So for now, we just want the family, and we can also add a fallback in the case the font is not found. So it's going to be settings dot the ID and dot fallback families. All right, and you can also add another kind of CSS if you want, for example font weight, and it's going to be the same process. So it's going to be settings dot the ID dot, and you go here for weight, okay, and something like this. So if I save it and I go back to my site, if I refresh, yeah, and you see that it's appearing here like this. So let's correct it. I'm gonna cut this one like this, and I will place it inside the style, and I will save it, and we should be okay now. And as you can see, our website has now the font Montserrat. Just to be sure, I will click on this one of the Google Chrome extension, and as you can see, we have Montserrat everywhere. All right, so if you want to create like more settings and you don't know how to do that, just like we did earlier, you go to some website, you download like their theme inside your Shopify admin, and you can go to learn how they're adding their settings here, and you can try to be practicing yourself.